Um, all right, so we will get started then. Great. Okay. So welcome everybody. Feel free to type in the chat. There's a chat box at the bottom of the screen there, and you can chat with us throughout. And if you have any questions, we will answer your questions. So just to get started, my name is Kate, and I'm the founder of WiFly Nomads. And we also have Imran with us. And Imran is our Director of Operations. So essentially, WiFly Nomads, in a nutshell, is a 2-week program that takes place in Bali, Indonesia, and it helps working professionals transition to the digital nomad lifestyle. Like helping you land a remote job, navigating the lifestyle, all of that. And we'll dive into the details as well on this call. We will leave this session as, a very Q&A style. Imran, I know you'll be sending some questions through, and then we can go through everything in that sense. Imran, did you want to dive right into the questions, or do you want me to explain a bit more going through the info pack and whatnot of WiFly? You're on mute.
Thanks. Just for today's session, just for a little housekeeping, we'll keep all the videos and audio just on mute for now. If you do have any questions, please enter them in the chat box, and we'll make sure we answer them all. We have received a number of questions already from people who couldn't make it, and yes, we'll also be sending out a recording. We aim to get that out to everyone tomorrow morning, as we do realize that in some parts of the world where it is a bit hard for them to make it a 7 p.m. call. So this definitely will be recorded, and will be sent, and we'll be sharing this webinar with everyone at the end. So yeah, so we'll just do a quick intro about the WiFly program, and then we'll jump straight into your questions. So, but again, please feel free to and type in your questions, anything that we haven't covered in the text box.
Awesome. Okay, so I'll try to do the medium version of WiFly so I don't go too ahead of myself here. But just to give everyone a quick background, I apologize if some of you are already familiar with who I am. Just a quick background on my story and how WiFly came to be. So I started my digital nomad journey a couple years ago. My background was in project management at ad agencies, and then I transitioned into online marketing. And I had joined a program called Remote Year, actually, and on that program, I sort of got started in this lifestyle. I launched a blog at that time talking about this digital nomad lifestyle. And it was during that time that a lot of people would reach out to me, and they saw what I was doing and how I was working remotely and traveling the world. And I would get 2 common questions from everyone. One being, how do I get a remote job? How do I land a remote job? And how do I get started? So how do I just go to another country and understand what to do? And, the blog did really well. It was featured in publications like BBC, Fast Company, Etihad Airways, CNN Travel, a bunch of publications. But it was with those people reaching out to me that I realized there's a need. Programs like Remote Year were facilitating experiences for existing digital nomads, but there were so many people that wanted to be a part of that experience, but they needed a remote job and they needed that help. So that's why I created WiFly Nomads, in order to help people land that remote job, whether it's freelancing or finding a remote job, because applying for a remote job is much different than, say, a traditional job. So that sort of inspired me to start this program. People would email me all the time. I tried to email them back, but there's just so much to know. And I was thinking to myself, okay, what is the best way to get all this information to people? And the best way to do that was during a 2-week program. So the program is 2 weeks. It takes place in Bali, Indonesia. Bali is a very big digital nomad hub. It's full of digital nomads, which is one of the reasons we go there, because we really want this to be an immersive experience. And we also want participants to be able to network with digital nomads in the area. So be surrounded by people who are already living this lifestyle and working remotely, meeting people who are living in Bali. So that's sort of how WiFly came to be. I don't know. Let me just see here. Yeah, we can jump right into the questions. Imran, if you want, or I can go through the info pack just a bit. The program is fairly structured. I'm going to share my screen with you guys here. If any of you haven't downloaded the information package, I encourage you to do that. It's on our website in the footer. So let me just share my screen with you for a second here. And on today's call as well, we'll show you the photos of accommodations so that you guys can see what the accommodations look like. We'll go through all of that. This here in our info pack outlines what our typical day is going to be. So again, everything's fairly structured. And the most important thing is that you're going to be learning a lot in terms of how to live this lifestyle, but you're also going to be really focused on taking action. So that's something that we're really big on. It's not just throwing content at you. You could take an online course or read blogs if you wanted to learn in that way, but it's more than just learning. It's about implementing what you're learning and taking action. So it's really about, it's a really intense 2 weeks. There's a lot going on. It's very structured, a lot of learning, but a lot of action taking too. And it's really about creating an engaging environment where we're not just throwing content at you. So yeah, that's sort of our typical day right there. Let me get my other. So pretty much we cover four core areas on the program. So one of the things that we're going to be covering is, I'm going to share my screen again here. One of the core areas is going the entrepreneurial avenue. So whether you want to get started with freelancing, understanding the fundamentals of starting a business, regardless of what that business is. So that's something that we focus a lot on because we want people to do something that they're passionate about. And this is why we're bringing in Daniel DiPiazza Daniel will be joining us from LA. He's going to be flying in. Daniel is amazing. He has this freelance domination course that usually goes for about $1,200. It's going to be included. Daniel's going to fly and take our participants through his program during 2 days on top of all the other workshops that we have. Daniel's just launched a book with Penguin Publishers. It's already becoming a bestseller. He started multiple six-figure businesses, freelancing businesses from zero startup capital. He's been in Entrepreneur, Time, Fortune, all those publications. He's become a really big influencer, tons of followers on Instagram. You can learn more about him on our website as well. But we're really excited to have Daniel join us, and he's going to be taking our participants through how to successfully get started freelancing. So that's how to always get clients, how to get paid what you're worth, how to figure out what you even want to do for freelancing. And then there's also the employee avenue. So again, as I mentioned, getting a remote job and landing a remote job is a much different process than a traditional job. So we're going to go through your options in terms of convincing your boss to let you work remotely, how to make a career transition to a more remote friendly role. So like for me, I went from project management to online marketing, resume interview skills for remote specific jobs. So doing, interviews on Skype or Zoom, and where you should be applying for remote jobs, because there's a lot of scammy jobs out there that say work from home and make $1,000 a day. So we're going to keep it realistic and show you where you actually need to go to find those real jobs. And then the third component looks at the lifestyle skills. So, managing different time zones when you're traveling around the world, how to stay productive, visas, taxes, banking, budgeting, mindset. Being a digital nomad isn't always easy. And we're going to cover, how you overcome those obstacles as a digital nomad, cultural integration, creating your digital nomad game plan, everything that encompasses the lifestyle. So that's the third component. And then the fourth component is really focusing on your personal and professional development, from team building activities, masterminds, power sessions, yoga and meditation, skill sharing workshops. So really developing both personally and professionally. The way I like to explain it to people is, if you're working crazy hours and you're burning out in, say, America, and you just do that remotely in Thailand and you're still burning out, you're not really getting anywhere. So the purpose is to really create a more balanced lifestyle. Find a job you're more passionate about. Find that balance in your lifestyle. So it does go beyond just transitioning to a remote job. It's about living a more balanced lifestyle, and that's what we focus on. Yeah, so right now what I might do is we will dive into some questions. We've had people send in questions ahead of time, and we'll go through what those questions are. And then I'll also, again, I'll go through the accommodations as well. I guess we can leave that till a bit later, right, Emran?
Yeah, that'll work best. So I think now, like you said, now is probably the best time to go into some of the questions we've received. So I'll just kick things off.
Okay.
So one of the more common questions that we have received is asking differ, how is this program different to other similar programs such as Remote Year?
Yeah. So with the programs like Remote Year, Hackers Paradise, they're really about facilitating an experience for existing digital nomads. So you have a remote job, they're going to take you and, sort out your accommodation and your transportation. So you don't have to worry about that. You just show up and you do your work. It's a little, those programs are, I was on Remote Year for the first Remote Year program. Those programs are less structured. So it's sort of like, there'll be some things going on here or there, but it's a little more informal, less structure. There's not necessarily as much focus on personal and professional development. So with us, it's really about an education, like learning what you need to do to become a digital nomad. So it's a lot more structured. It's a lot more education based. It's really about taking action. So we're going to be helping you land a remote job, get started with freelancing, get started living the lifestyle. And then we're essentially showing you everything that you need to know to live this digital nomad lifestyle. So then when you're done, you can decide, okay, do I want to go live this lifestyle on my own at a more affordable price? Or maybe I want to join a program like Remote Year and We Roam and join up with other digital nomads. And that's part of the reason that I started WiFly, was to give people more options. When I joined Remote Year, it seemed like my only option to becoming a digital nomad was joining Remote Year. And this way you can have the support and the knowledge and the know-how to get started almost on your own, but with a bit more support. And then you can decide which direction you want to take it. And again, for us, we are really adamant about being very particular about who we bring on and keeping the community small, being very selective with who we bring on, because we really want to create this close, tight-knit community. And it goes beyond those 2 weeks too, right? We've been having more deep dive one-on-one discussions with participants, preparing them for their departure to Bali and preparing them for their digital nomad journey. And those conversations will continue after. And at the bottom line is that we just really care about our participants succeeding, and we're going to do what it takes to help them succeed. So, following up with them after the 2 weeks, making sure that everything's going smoothly, helping them where we can. But it's mostly the main difference between our program and the other programs is that we're helping you land a remote job. We're helping you get started, whereas the other programs are more facilitating an experience for people who are already working remotely. If anyone has questions on that, I hope that makes sense and that's clear. But if you do have questions, feel free to put them in the chat there.
And just to reiterate again, this program is specifically designed to be very action orientated. You will be working. We've created workshops. Mm-hmm. So those days are very jam packed. You will be taking those steps to either applying for remote jobs, creating your own business, your own website, things like Daniel will be teaching in his freelance workshop. So again, just to reiterate, this is a very action-oriented and work-focused program. Obviously we'll be sightseeing, exploring. There's plenty of time to have fun, but just to highlight that it is very, our main focus is to get you from point A to point B, which is getting you working and living this lifestyle. So our success and our key metric for success is how quickly we can get you into that lifestyle to become a digital nomad. Yeah. So that is why we will be pushing you quite hard. It will be quite intensive, but again, it is this immersive culture which a lot of our participants who have already signed up, which is what excites them most about attending WiFly.
Yeah, because like you can read online again, like you can read online about how to become a digital nomad, but then you're like, shit, how do I actually just land in Bali and know what to do? So again, being immersive, giving you that confidence. Okay, I did this in Bali, and then you get the better understanding, that feel for if it's for you. Um, so okay, did you want to go to the next question? I hope that makes sense for everyone. I think you're muted, Imran.
Okay, perfect. And sorry, we just had a question from Sarah. Thanks, Sarah. Do you guys have a relationship with remote employers, or are the workshops more about the tools to finding the right people to network with?
Yeah. So for this, we're not like a recruitment agency. We're not pairing applicants with jobs and doing that. What we're doing is we're giving you the tools to know, okay, where do I look? How do I approach these people? How do I begin a relationship? How do I network? What's the best way to apply for these remote jobs? Who are the people I should be networking with? So yeah, just to clarify, it isn't as though we are some career or job agency where we're connecting you with employer. We're giving you the tools that you can implement. So the tools that you'll learn, you can implement, use these tools and tactics beyond the program, and you can use them in a variety of situations for a variety of different types of jobs. So yeah, to clarify that, it's more about the tools to find the right people and the right resources. And we'll be giving you those resources of, okay, here's the best sites to look at, and here's the type of work that's available, and guiding you along in that process.
And just to add to that, while we are not recruiters ourselves, we're not going to put you into the position.
Yeah.
We do have relationships with recruiters, one of them being Flex Jobs. I don't know if you wanted to talk more about that.
Yeah. So yeah, and again, that's a great point, Imran. We've been living this lifestyle for a long time, and it's really important that you're learning from people who have experience. And what that means is that, obviously, I have a ton of friends that are living this lifestyle as well. A lot of already pre-existing relationships. I've already interviewed the senior career specialist at Flex Jobs, and we have that relationship with Flex Jobs. There's already our existing network, and we are more than happy to leverage our network in order to help our participants. And again, we're keeping it really small, and we're being very particular with who we bring on, because again, we're putting our all behind our participants, and we're bringing people on that we believe in, and leveraging our network and our resources and media opportunities and whatever that may be, for the best interest of our participants.
Okay. And for one of our next questions, again, this is touching on the price of WiFly and what's included with that price.
Yeah, for sure. So we have 3 different price points. The first one is, and I'll go through what's included as well. The first one is $499.9, and so just under $5,000, and that is our premium accommodation. So that's a private room with a kitchenette. I'll go through again everything that's covered. So it includes everything just the same. The only difference is this is a private room with a kitchenette. And then our second option is $500 less. So that's $4,499. And this is our standard accommodation. So with the standard accommodation, you still get the private room. You just don't have the kitchenette. And then our final option is $3,999. And that's where that's the basic accommodation, where we're assisting you in booking your accommodation. So we have had participants that have gone this route of the assisted booking. And what we do with that is we help them and let them know, okay, you need to be within this area within about 10 minutes. And we show them on the map where they need to be. They'll look up some spots. We'll review it and just make sure that, everything looks good. So it's more of like an assisted booking, but that way you can book based on your budget. In terms of what's included and what's not included, insurance is not included, and flight is also not included. That being said, we do have a partnership with Flystein, and they're essentially a group of flight hackers that are really good at finding flight deals. And I've used them before, saved a couple $100s. And we have a partnership agreement with them where our participants get 100% discount. They don't have to pay for the fee, and they will essentially help you find a really great deal on flights. So although the flight isn't included, you do get that discount with Flystein to really help you find the best deal, and we help you in the booking process as well. Even though we don't book the flights for you, we help you find the best deals. I've signed up for paid subscription for flight deal alerts, and I've been passing those off to our participants so that they can get the best deal heading over to Bali. So what's included? So we have airport pickup and drop off, your welcome gift box, breakfast every day, your local SIM card, scooter rental, access to the co-working spaces. So when we're there, we're going to spend 1 week in Ubud, which is more yoga, rice field type vibe. And then we're going to spend 1 week in Canggu, and that is more chill surfer beach type town. It's a little more low key than Ubud. So we're going to go to both places just so our participants can see the difference, just the difference among those and, the two different co-working spaces there. So there's 2 co-working spaces there. So it's going to include access to those spaces, a membership for both of those. It includes yoga and meditation classes. It includes our excursions. So that's going to the rice terraces, the sacred temples, sacred monkey forest, the mixers with digital nomads in the area, local fire dance show, a sunset dinner on the beach. So all of that stuff. And then of course the workshops and training. So again, Daniel's going to be coming. He's going to take us through his course that usually runs for about $1,200 US dollars. And he's going to take us through that personally for a couple days. So that's all included. So essentially the only thing you really have to consider is lunch, dinner, insurance, and flight. And your lunches and your dinners, it really depends on your budget. You could eat local and it's as cheap as $2, or you could go really healthy, more Western for about like 10, maybe max 15, but you wouldn't be spending more than that on meals. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Is that clear? If not, and just again, like put it in the chat and I will clarify anything. Do you want to go to?
Okay, yep. Next question. Why is your program based in a physical location in Bali, and which leads to why there isn't an online course for this program?
Yeah, for sure. So there's multiple reasons it's in Bali. First of all, Bali is a digital nomad hotspot. It's the perfect place to transition to this lifestyle. It has all the elements that support this lifestyle, from digital nomad community to cost of living, to having the infrastructure to support this lifestyle. So that's one of the reasons. Bali is also a great place to make a life transition. And then the third main point is that we want participants to learn through an immersive experience. So again, you can read as much as you want online. You can take online courses and just read as much as you want, but there's something different about taking action and physically being there to really feel if it's for you. And being there will also give you the confidence to continue. So you could read as much as you want, but you're still going to be like, what the F do I do when I land in a country? But when you're already there and you're doing it and you're gaining that confidence, like, oh, okay, I'm in Bali, I'm scooting around, going to the local cafes. Okay, this isn't so bad. I'm getting used to this. So it really comes down to really just immersing yourself in that immersion. So that's one of the main reasons. And when we were thinking, okay, we want to go to a place that creates an immersive experience. Bali's a digital nomad hub. Bali's a place that I've lived before. I'm familiar with the area. So all of these factors just create a smooth experience, like having been there, I know, where to go and what to do. And it just adds to the experience as well. So yeah, those are some of the reasons why we're doing it specifically in Bali. And it's warm and it has nice beaches.
And yeah. I just highlight again what Kate mentioned. To become this digital nomad lifestyle, it is more than it is a lifestyle. It is not taking an online course to learn social media marketing. It is a lot more complicated than that. And honestly speaking, we are trying to get people create this success as fast as possible. So that is to getting you into that digital nomad lifestyle. And if we were just to send you an online course, it could have been very profitable for us, but it's probably not best in terms of getting success for you. That's our main focus is, again, just to highlight, we want to get
Yeah,
you to be a digital nomad as soon as possible. And we're trying to take you out of that, your normal 9 to 5 grind, which most people are currently in.
yeah,
You're going to have those day to day, your job worries, your people who are around you who may not believe in you, who may be pushing, who may not believe that this is possible. So if we get those negative mindsets out, you're in a new space. You can be completely clear and focused purely on one, creating that lifestyle of how to get a remote job or a freelancer business, and then this other part of lifestyle and traveling and much more than just creating an income, it's creating a lifestyle. So again, that's why, honestly, for your own success, it is probably the best way possible, rather than just us sending you an online course
yeah.
which you can just watch and do exercises. Again, those things are definitely helpful, and there is obviously going to be support after those 2 weeks to continue with your journey. But for right now, especially with a lot of people with that, and to take those initial steps, we really believe in having this immersive experience
Yeah,
for everyone.
just to add to that too, when you take an online course, the course instructor doesn't know you at all. You're just like a payment that's gone through, and you're watching the videos at your own speed. You can easily procrastinate. So we're there to keep you accountable. We know our participants. It's very personalized. We've had deep dive sessions with our participants already, and we're making sure that the content that's being presented is also aligned and personalized to their unique situations. So we're not just looking at it as, okay, here's the content, do what you need to do. It's, okay, here's the information you need to know, here's where you're at. We're going to work together and make sure that we create a solution that works specifically to you. So I think that's another important aspect too, is that it's really, it's more humanized. We're doing this for each individual participant, and we're looking at each individual participant, and we're keeping each of them accountable. We're keeping them on track. We're keeping them moving forward. And it's really about building that network and building that digital nomad community, because that's so important in achieving this lifestyle. And, I mentioned in the article that I just wrote today for the Huffington Post, when I started, I was trying to find a remote job in Canada in this traditional mindset for 3 months. And as soon as I immersed myself with the right people that, at a co-working space that were living this lifestyle, I found a remote job within 2 weeks. So the people you surround yourself are going to be really important in terms of your success. So yeah, just adding on to that again, like it's a whole different degree and depth that an online course just simply can't go. All right. Shall we dive into the next one?
Yep.
Cool.
So next question is, how many people are we currently taking to Bali?
Yeah, so right now, the applications have been open for a while. We're closing them tomorrow. We're keeping the group very small and intimate. From my experience being on Remote Year, when you have like 75, 80 people, it's overwhelming. You're already trying to make this life transition. And then on top of that, it's just too overwhelming with too many people. So we've decided to keep it the group very small, very intimate, very close-knit group. So we'll be looking at we're going to bring around 10 people. We initially started thinking, okay, we'll bring 20 to 30, and that will be the max that we ever go to. But especially for this first group, we want to keep it, we need to get it right, because essentially if we don't help people land remote jobs, we don't have a business, right? So it's really important to us that we're bringing the right people on. And if that means, bringing a lower number, that means bringing a lower number. And we think that in order for us to best deliver on our value, we're going to keep it small to about 10 participants. And yeah, so we're narrowing down to those final spots now so far.
And I just highlight, we have received a lot of applications.
Yes, that's important to note too.
Yes,
There has been a lot.
It has been a lot. We've received over 300, but
Yeah.
again, this is the first program. We are very imperative on the quality of participants, not the quantity. So if we are just wanting to take people who come along and some people are very happy to pay and very excited, but we feel they may not be a perfect fit, or they're not completely ready for
Yeah.
this lifestyle, not just yet. So to do the right thing, we're making sure that maybe it is probably not the right time for them to be attending Bali at this very point, because
Yeah.
again, we are being very selective, and it is a very action oriented and very immersive program. You will be taking steps every day, doing a lot of action, pushing forward, and it does require some sort of accountability and responsibility.
Hmm.
And we are really, again, it is emphasized on this, not young professional, but it's just a very action orientated program. And that's the caliber of people we are looking for, to be frank and
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, and again, like based on my experience, when in order to have a successful program, half of that is the program itself, but the other half are the participants we bring, and that's what's going to create a successful program, to make a whole successful program. So that's again why we're being so particular, because that's going to impact, the majority of our success as well, and who we're bringing on. Awesome. Should we hop to the next one?
And yep, and the next question is, when will our next WiFly experience be?
Yeah, so we're probably at this point going to do it. It's going to be a year from now, so in another year. So tomorrow we close applications, and then after that, you would get on the wait list. And what we're going to do a bit different next year when we run the program is our applications are only going to be open for a certain period, and then we're closing it down. So the next one will be in about a year from now.
Excellent. And there was a question just coming in about what the current interview process was like. So maybe we'll go. Well, once you have applied, what happens next?
Yeah, so you apply. We read through every application. So it sometimes takes us a bit to go through all that and get back to you. But you'll hear from us for the most part a few days, absolute max a week. You should hear back from us. After that, you'll be invited for an interview, and that interview is with Imran and I, just to see if you're a good fit. Again, that's reviewing your application. If we feel confident in your application, you get invited for an interview. And then from there, you have your final interview where we let you know if you've been accepted or not to the program. If you've been accepted to the program, then you submit your deposit, which is $500, and that secures your spot. And then at that time, we send you your pre-departure package. So that includes your visas, your visas, what you need to know for visa, your packing list, and then your health and safety guide. And then we go through that with you. And then again, we also have our deep dive session with our participants before Bali, and we'll have a lot of interaction with participants before we even go. We're going to have everyone meet up on calls and just get everyone, getting to know each other a bit more before we actually leave. But yeah, the main thing to know is that you apply. If you've been accepted, you attend the interview, and then from there we let you know shortly after if you've been invited, because we do it on a rolling basis.
Excellent. And some of the last questions is, what happens after the 2 weeks? So when the program finishes, what happens?
Yeah. So this is important to note, that it's not just like some 2-week vacation in Bali, because trust me, you could do it a lot cheaper if you just want to go on vacation. It's really about creating this new lifestyle. For me, it's been the reason why I created this is that transitioning to this lifestyle has been so impactful in my life. And this is something that I want to be able to share with other people. And I want other people to be able to have the opportunity to live this lifestyle themselves if they want. So, again, I said this before, we're really behind our participants and really having them succeed. There's just so much behind again, this is why we're particular about who we bring on, just really believing in the participants we bring on. So after the 2 weeks, again, we're going to be in touch with our participants. It's not as though you come for 2 weeks and it's like, okay, see you later. This is really about building a community. And this is something that, those relationships are going to continue on afterwards. And it's really important for us that participants succeed, which is why we continue that relationship afterwards, touching base, making sure everyone's on track, making sure, everything's going okay. Because ultimately, again, I've said this a million times, it's really about having our participants succeed and getting them working remotely and traveling as fast as we can. So it's not as though it's, okay, great, 2 weeks is done, see you later. Again, it's just really about that community. And yeah, so it's not just as though it goes so much more beyond the 2 weeks. And again, just like creating that new lifestyle. So there's so much more than just seeing it as a 2-week program, because it's really going to be, reshaping and redefining how you live your lifestyle from that day forward.
Excellent. And one of the other questions we have, just reading them now. If I don't get accepted into the program, how else can I achieve this digital nomad journey?
If they don't get accepted?
That's correct.
I don't. Do you want to take this one?
Perfect. It's a very valid question. Obviously, we can't take everyone on the program, but we've designed a lot of resources available to everyone for free.
Yeah, that's true.
So we have recently, a few weeks back, if you are on the email list, we did a Go Remote Challenge. So those were a lot of 7-day exercises to get you in that mindset, to get you ready to become a digital nomad. We've also run multiple calls. We do a lot of online sessions. One of them was, for example, we had almost 100 people register for a program we did last month, which was on resume writing. So we were talking about what it is employers are looking for, specifically to be a remote employee. What are the tools you guys need? What sort of skills, things like that. So we will do, obviously, we'll keep doing these sessions throughout, probably after Bali, and again, it'll be an ongoing process. We'll keep handing our resources and creating more content for you as well. So there will be plenty of resources. Obviously, we do have a Facebook group, which a lot of you are probably members already of, where we're usually posting quite frequently. Other digital nomads are posting quite frequently there as well. And again, registering for the any other events that we will be planning in the future. That would probably be my best recommendation.
Yeah, that has me thinking. Another question I often get is what we look for in participants, and maybe that is worthwhile because, again, it just made me think with that question, if you don't get accepted, what do you do? So to get accepted, what we look for, we really are looking to create a very diverse group, which we're really achieving so far, which is great. We have participants from Taiwan, Guam, the United States, we have Australia, Canada, just a huge mix of people, Indonesia. So it's really about creating a diverse group. We are really looking for people who are ready to take action. I guess you could say those go-getter type people who we know, are ready to take action. I think that would be, yeah. We also, again, like if you're, the way I explain it is, say you're a plumber or a construction worker and you're like, okay, I want to come on WiFly Nomads. It may not be the best time to come. Looking at participants that have a bit of that technical skill set, and I don't mean technical in that you have to be a developer, because trust me, I'm not even close to doing that. But if you think of those professions where you're sitting in a desk job all day, you're sitting on the computer, if you're sitting on the computer all day, that job can be remote. So yeah, we're looking for a really diverse group. And a group that's really ready to take action, ready to make things happen. And again, we also keep in mind the whole group dynamic as well, and how the group will balance one another. So yeah, I don't know, Imran, if you want to add to that. I mean,
I think the most important thing is going to be your mindset, and are you comfortable to step outside of your comfort zone and go against the status quo? A lot of people are going to tell you, this lifestyle is just foolish, it's all scammy or something like that. And obviously that's why we're trying to immerse you in this culture. You can physically see, obviously myself, Kate, we're all living this lifestyle. There's going to be hundreds of other people in these co-working spaces in Bali who are living this lifestyle. So it's rather than what you do, it's if you believe you can do it. And I say that
Yeah.
it's a bit cliche, but it really is just so important. Like, for example, I know people who teach instruments, like they're a piano teacher and they've built an online course. So and that's become right. So a lot of so it's not. And I truly believe that almost everything can be remote
Yeah. Yeah.
if you are creative enough and you know how to do it. So if you're not sure what you can and cannot do, again, these are some of the things we'll be going through on the program, finding out your passions, your skill sets, what the market needs, things like that. That's going to be again covered in Bali. But I guess the most important thing is your mindset.
Yeah.
And go ahead,
I'm
sorry.
just going to add to that, just like really having a passion for making this change, really feeling ready. Like this is the time I'm ready to invest in myself. I'm ready to make this happen, and just that passion, and that's why we meet with participants to really see and get a feel for who they are. But just it's sort of adding on to what Imran said, just people that are ready to take action and just are really passionate about making this change and investing in themselves. Yeah. Awesome. Again, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I'm just going to see if we have any more here. Oh yeah, why don't I quickly show some of the accommodations, Imran? I know I mentioned that at the beginning. We'll just quickly do that.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen with you guys here. Okay. So desktop. There we go. Okay. So we have, let me just pull them up here. Yeah, so this is our premium accommodation. This is what you will see on our website right now. So just go through this. The bathrooms are very like indoor, outdoor shower type thing. Lots of pools. So again, the kitchenette here with the premium accommodation, the living space. That's just to give you an idea of that. Then we have our standard accommodation. So this is just a look at our standard. Again, having a pool is a very popular thing in Bali. This is the lobby area where we'll be staying. This is the room. Again, this doesn't have the kitchenette, so it's just the bedroom. And then we have this one here. Again, there's the pool. So this here is our standard accommodation. And the reason for that is that it doesn't have the kitchenette. So yeah, you can just see it here. And then again, the shower it's still private, but it's this cool like indoor outdoor type thing. And then just the last one here. Yeah, so that's just to give you guys an idea about the type of accommodation that we'll be staying at while we're there. And then again, it's, we're going to have our scooters. We're going to be scootering around. We won't be too far from our co-working spaces as well. But yeah, so this is going to be in, again, Ubud and Canggu. One is more inland and one is more beach. Yeah. Let me just see here. Do we have any more questions, or we can wrap it up soon? I know we're getting close to time here.
I think we've covered all the questions that we received right now, and mostly from email. So, just to recap again, if you are interested in the program, obviously, if you're attending this session, there is something that's driving you to switch to this lifestyle. So again, we thank you for taking the time to join us. And if you're watching a recording on this, thanks again for tuning in. Again, it is important to realize that something has brought you to this session, whether something's deep down you feel like a change, or things that are not working currently in the way things are currently at the moment. So this definitely is something people are very passionate about, and you've obviously watching this session for a reason. So I would highly recommend you do apply. I promise me and Kate, we do review every application. We do take them very seriously. And if you are selected, we'll obviously have an interview with you, and we can discuss the steps further for you. So that is the closing date is tomorrow. That is, so it's Wednesday, I think the 9th of August.
Yeah.
So please do apply, and we'll make sure we'll go through all your applications. We do have a bit of a backlog, so if you haven't heard from us in a few days, I would recommend just replying to us. You have our email addresses. If not, you can reply to any of those emails that Kate sends out, and we'll make sure that we haven't forgotten you. Sometimes the email, sometimes the system doesn't receive all the applications perfectly, so we do apologize for that if you haven't heard back from us. So, but please do apply if this is something that you feel you are wanting in this life. Obviously, it is something that's going to take you from point A to point B. So, if you're looking for that immersive and action-oriented program, highly recommend you apply by tomorrow.
Yeah, and then just adding to that as well, and to just sort of stay in touch. If you guys are on this call, you're likely on our email list. If you're not, where we put most of our information is in our private Facebook group and on our email list. So if you're not on our email list, you can go to our website and just at the bottom there, you can sign up for updates. We also have the private Facebook group, The Grind to Greatness. I'll put the link here. That's a great way to stay in touch with us. Like Imran said, you can email, reach out to us. We will get back to you. Sometimes it might take just a little bit, but we do get back to everyone. But yeah, I think that's about it. Just what Imran said, applications are closing tomorrow. So if you are thinking about applying, this is the time to do it. And then other than that, I think that's about everything. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for attending. We will be putting out this recording tomorrow for everyone to watch. So yeah, please stay in touch. Again, Grind to Greatness Facebook group. You can join our email list. And yeah, I wish you guys the best of luck on your digital nomad journeys, and perhaps we'll be seeing some of you in Bali on our program. But I think that wraps everything up. If anyone has any last minute questions, feel free to put it in there. Otherwise, thanks everyone for attending today. Awesome. All right, I'm just going to end out here. Thanks again, everyone. Thank you.